Today we have a group of people whose name collectively inspire our earliest memories of Sri Lankan metal. This is Good Morning Sri Lanka, and we are graced with the presence of the band Stigmata. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning! Alright, so that was your song, Children of the Lion.
Yeah.
That was amazing. What a way to... usually I start the show by saying, what a way to start the early AM, and looking into this pretty face. But no, today it's what a way to start the early AM with that. That is amazing.
You definitely woken everyone up.
Definitely. Like if my mom must have been going to watch the show, like, huh, what is this? This is amazing. And she's like cooking her stuff and everything with like energy in her body. Alright guys, introduce yourselves to the people at home.
I am Chaturanga Pritikul and I play drums. I'm also known as PTG.
PTG in the house.
I'm Suresh De Silva and I'm the frontman and vocalist.
I'm Lakpali Jagunratna. I'm playing bass.
You play the bass. Awesome.
I'm Tenny. Play guitar.
I'm very waiting. That's your real name, though. That's your full name.
Yeah, Tenny's the Napoleon.
Alright, yeah.
And to a bass on guitars as well.
Nice. Alright, fellas, so what do you guys usually do in the morning? What is your morning routine?
Very good question.
Do you guys wake up in the morning?
Yeah, of course we do. Much to contrary notion, we most of us actually have 8 to 5 jobs.
Right.
So I don't know how to answer that, man. I suppose it's the same routine that most people do have, except some of us
Wake up late.
may endorse a few
here's the
obscure
culprit.
things.
Wakes up late.
We all have different
Morning activities.
inspirations
Yeah.
Alright.
to wake
So
up.
Stigmata. Let's talk about Stigmata. Where did that name come up from? Why did you want to call yourself Stigmata?
Well, there's a band called Arch Enemy
Right.
that was very influential to us around the time that we started. And we remember we were called something else. And that something else was not appropriate
I see.
to further propagate awareness for ourselves and disseminate our music to the masses, as it were. So their second record, or the first record I think actually, was called Stigmata.
Right.
And their first and second records had a huge impact on the kind of music that we wanted to make and create together. And so Stigmata stuck with us. We kind of bounced it off each other and checked out the meanings and definitions,
Right.
and it finally made sense, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
as a brand, irrespective of the connotations, it still is very powerful as a brand, and it stays in people's heads.
Right.
It's relatively easy to pronounce,
Okay. It is.
and there's a certain imagery that is affiliated with certain names. Like when you say Guns N' Roses, there's this thing that comes into your mind. When you say Metallica, or you say Iron Maiden or Pantera, you have this visual that accompanies the name.
Yeah.
And Stigmata was one of those names that
Right.
all these guys felt was...
Right. Is this the original lineup for Stigmata?
Let's answer it this way. This is the necessary lineup for Stigmata.
Right.
Every band has origins where you start off and there are different members that come in and leave for numerous reasons.
Right.
Some are personal, some are more objective.
Right.
But as the founders, Andrew, Tenny and myself have been doing this for such a long time that it is really, really refreshing and overwhelming to have these two guys in the band, because they've taken the levels of commitment and the levels of fun in the band to
Great heights.
new great heights. I was gonna say unprecedented heights, but yeah, it's taken the band to. I mean, it's really, really kind of awakened even the three of us up,
Right.
because these guys are so young and vibrant and mischievous and shy and all. They're so shy. It's cute. Yeah, but they're different on stage, you know.
All right. So Stigmata formed. You guys formed Stigmata, and then what was the rock scene like back then?
there was no rock scene back then. We remember we had great difficulty to get concerts to play in clubs. With all due respect, TV and radio wouldn't touch us.
Right.
Neither would print media. And it wasn't really an issue of quality.
Right.
It was more an issue of there being a lot of misconceptions regarding this respective art form or
Right.
genre of music. So part of the struggle that we have had through the years, through everything that we've had to endure, has also been to show people that, you know, you shouldn't always judge a book by its cover, that
Right.
sometimes it can be a pretty fantastic book.
Right.
So the story, which is Stigma, and all the chapters that we have been fortunate to write together, has really been overwhelming and gratifying. And I would say, I think there is a word called gratifying, no?
I guess so. We could make our own words here.
It's
on
early
Good
morning, so
Oh,
why
God.
not?
All right. So Teddy, tell me, officially, when was Stigmatas? Did you get recognized by your first gig, or was it a TV appearance, or?
Basically, we played our first gig in college, basically.
Okay.
And this was for for a forum, basically.
Okay.
We played like few tracks. Like basically, how everything started to happen was we started writing our own music.
Right.
So basically, we had like 2-3 guitars, box guitars, and like a couple of tunes.
Yeah.
So we started playing basically all those tunes and
Right.
basically, you know, got some feedback. But basically, we were happy playing our own songs. So
Right.
basically, I think that motivation just changed the whole thing, you know. I guess when we just start writing new music and all, everything changes. I mean, people just look at you in a way, oh, okay, oh, you guys are a band, you
Yeah.
guys have songs.
That's what I was curious about, because again, you guys were the first to do it. So when they see you, they're like, okay, a couple of guys with piercings and long hair.
What
was
we
your
didn't have
first re-
piercings and long
Yeah.
hair.
You didn't have piercings at all?
We were still in college. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like the curve. Like
It's really funny because there are
Okay.
people we meet who kind of think that, you know, some of us were born with long hair.
Long hair and piercings,
The piercings and the tattoos and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are not the things that really define a rock and roll or a metalhead, as we call it. Right?
Yeah.
Like you said, the originality factor was the thing that really, I think, maybe separated us from a lot of the other artists and a lot of the other talent in this country. But to be fair, yes, we are the first metal band of our ilk and our kind. But there have been alternative rock bands, hard rock bands. There have been bands throughout the 70s and the 80s that have done some great stuff.
Yeah.
But tribute bands where they've covered songs by international artists.
Right.
But we were amongst the breed that really thought, you know, all our heroes are people who compose their own music. Why on earth should we just stick in a club or a pub and play other people's music?
Right.
Maybe you can make a lot of money doing that for a couple of years, make a name for yourself as a diligent musician. But then there's no longevity, right? No one would remember you.
Right.
What we have managed to do, I think it's safe to say, people will still be talking about us when the 5 of us are dead and gone.
Yeah.
That magic cannot be replicated.
Right.
Basically, once we put out our first album, everything changed. Like
Right.
people were like, "Oh, you can actually do that!"
Right.
Especially in the English medium of writing
Right.
songs and all.
Yeah. So now this first album, now since you brought it up, this is Hollow Dreams.
Yes.
And you just celebrated just a few weeks ago the re-release, your 10th year anniversary of. Could you speak about that, please? Just tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, because Hollow Dreams is a special moment. That's actually the answer to your previous question. Where did we get recognition?
Right.
You know? So I think up to Hollow Dreams, there was about 3 years that we were playing clubs and pubs, and we also had to play a few covers. Not a few. We had to play a lot of cover versions.
We had like
because-
a 64 set.
yes,
Right.
and we used
64
to play 1 or 2 originals between our sets.
Right.
Not 1 or 2. We played all the
Little
originals
more.
we had.
We made it seem
All the
like 1 or
songs,
2.
yeah,
see? And basically we got a good following after that, you know, because they got used to our originals and they kept asking for originals. So
Right.
And 2003 we released Hollow Dreams, and that was the moment that everything changed.
Right. Okay. What's it like now? You know, coming to the present, and you look back, and you started that when you made that first album, and now you look at like 10 years. What is that? Does it inspire you to be like, you know what, we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep going further with this.
I guess it makes your heart beat a little bit because you think of that moment. You just go back to that moment, and it was something very special and something we felt this time when we re-released Holodreams.
Yeah.
And we all felt that when we got on stage. It was really nice to see some of those old Holodreams fans, because Holodreams has a fan base on its own, I would say. Don't you agree?
Yeah, of
So, yeah, it was special.
Okay. So let me get, when you first started on your first gigs, was it only like, you know, like, but it's kind of difficult for me to picture it because, like you said, you guys are the first, you know, rock metal band, and like, was it only metal fans that came to it, or were there
There were no
different?
metal
there
fans,
were no
man.
metal
That's the
fans,
thing.
That's what I'm curious about. Like,
There was no infrastructure for this kind of music, so we had to build everything. It wasn't just us. There was Independent Square, Krebs Cycle, different genres of music. To be fair, there was Paranoid Earthling from Candy.
right.
And I mean, with our scene, with regards to our scene, it was really, really a struggle. I mean, it's interesting that you should ask that, because back then, if you told us that 10 years down the line, 13 years down the line, we'd be seated here with you having an interview,